Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Campo, welcome back, and we've got the fourth war of the season. Got some really interesting ghost fights today, and I am excited that Elsa has made her return to my team. So first up, I am starting on path 9A again with the hazard shift nodes, and I have done this a lot recently. I've kind of become the default ghost player, which kind of makes me laugh a little bit because I used to never be the ghost player, but I guess we just don't have a lot of high SIG rank 3 ghosts, and I've sort of become the guy, but I definitely got to kind of flex her a little bit in this war. This first fight is a little different than a normal hazard shift fight simply because he has the auto block. So we use that to build a little bit of power, and then we're going to just kind of parry heavy, hope that we get some of our furies, and then we'll phase back the debuffs, and then we should be able to get off some big special 2s. So I do have a little bit of a power back boost. I didn't have too many furies there, so it didn't do as much damage as I wanted. This fight could have been over already if I played it a little differently, but it's really going to be fine. Make a little mistake there by throwing the special 2 while I had the precision up, but it ended up not mattering because he was parry stunned and one hit was enough to kill him. So that was an interesting one. Nothing too difficult there, but I do think Ghost is the best option. And next up we have Korg, and again, this kind of like with MODOK throwing the heavies, with Korg you do have to change your play style because of the rock hard thorns, meaning that I needed to duel this a little bit and get my timing down for light intercepting off of the phase. So I'm just kind of thinking about my game plan. I hit go, and it will look pretty normal, but I am using light attacks to interrupt and just doing 3 of them at a time and then backing off. I'm getting really good RNG with the debuffs, but he went a little passive on me there. He still has his shield up, so I don't want to be doing any mediums, so that works out perfectly. Just step back into that L2, phase back again, and this should be enough to kill him. And that was great. So no issues there. I made it through with just sort of like 1 cycle of his thorns and did all my damage while that was on the cooldown timer, and no issue at all. Was a little worried about that just because I've never quaked Korg in a high pressure situation, but ended up being fine. And here we go with Mole Man. He really doesn't have any abilities that counter Ghost. His true accuracy is only for evade, and even so you can just parry him several times with Quake. If you did want to Quake him, I wouldn't really suggest it. But with Ghost, it's no problem at all, and we got so many furies that we were able to take him out with 1 special 2 and no issues there. So section 1 is done, 3 ghost fights. It's always nice when she can take all 3 of the hazard shift. They really didn't do anything with that placement to stop her, even though Rolk might have had kind of a difficult time. Quick note, the spam that was on node 25 gave us a lot of problems in terms of who we were going to use to take it down. Originally we were going to do Mole Man, but it ended up being an excellent Quake fight by my buddy JT. So thankfully we did a team approach and we didn't give up an attack bonus there. Coming up here, we have Void on path 4B. I do see Void a lot on these path 4 fights or on the Ebb and Flow Intercept, but I've actually never fought him on this node. So when he throws specials, it is going to put some extra debuffs on me. I just need to be a little careful because there's just a slightly different flow than the normal fights that I take Elsa versus Void. But so far it's going the same. As you can see there, we did the dash in and dash out technique. I have the armor break still, waiting for that to get purified. It seemed to take a little bit longer. Right there, I have no idea what happened. I just kind of didn't, an input didn't land or something, because I was definitely swiping back, but she was just standing there and kind of got swiped back. So I have taken more damage than I wanted, but he did go down very, very easily. And I'm boosted pretty heavily because I'm about to take a pretty difficult mini boss soon. So now this is my first time facing Psycho Man here, and I don't really know why he's here. There's nothing about him that is going to place debuffs on me. So literally there's no way I can ever have him go unblockable. But if I purify the armor break that comes from the node, from crumbling armor and the heal block and stuff, then I will be able to go unblockable myself. And the story with him is basically just bait his special 1, and you kind of don't have to worry about his abilities. You will notice, first of all, that we do purify the heal block and we go unblockable. And you will change his stance to control special attack once you cross 1 bar of power. So with Elsa, when you would normally want to be throwing your special 1 before the special 2, in this fight, I'm actually building up to the special 2 because I don't want to have the concussion based off of my special 1. So we bait another one of his special 1s. They're easy for now. They're not unblockable. And then now that it's control block, I'm able to throw a big special 2. Not enough to kill him, so the fight is still going on. I do need to worry that if I try to counter evade him on a well-timed block, it will fail. However, that time it didn't fail, so I don't know what was up with that. That was kind of funny. And at this point, we're basically done. I was gonna maybe throw a special 1, but didn't even have to. So yeah, Psycho Man could potentially be a problem if he's gaining power and throwing special 2s and whatnot, but in general, nothing going on there. And then finally, the fight that I was most nervous for, but then once it started, I was totally fine, was this Hazard Shift Nick. Shout out to Iron Patriot of the Mythic title. He's a very sort of well-known community member and excellent player, excellent Ghost player. He actually shared a video with us of him taking this very node, and it really gave me an idea of how I was going to do it. So you have to just remember that when he gets enough tactical charges, then he can't miss. So we're starting off just taking 5 hits to build a little bit of power. I went for invulnerable. I'm only doing like 3-hit combos and then block baiting and then getting in after the heavy and then just holding block, because I'm almost not caring about stun immunity and about hazard shift. I just want to get him to make sure that he's not unblockable, and I want to get him over 2 bars of power because I just don't want to deal with this special 1. So that wasn't enough to kill him. In my game plan in my head, I was hoping that first one would kill him, but it didn't. And now I'm thinking this special 2, if I throw it now, is not going to get like any power back, and I just want to kind of get him out of this first life. So even though I could have thrown another special 2, it wouldn't have given me enough back, and I was like, I'd rather have the special 3 as like an emergency just throw it thing. So we get him down with basic hits. He's degenning because I think he's only sig 40, so he's actually dying pretty quickly. Again, all I'm trying to do is get him to 2 bars as often as possible because that's easy to bait. I make a huge mistake there and should have kept that combo going. But fortunately, since I saved the special 3, I was able to just kind of throw it. This gave me a chance to breathe, to think about what I wanted to do next, create a little bit of spacing. It wasn't really enough to kill him, but he's still unblockable. Fortunately, he dashes back, so I hit into his block, throw my block, which baits a heavy, which is excellent, and that was enough combos to get him out of his unblockable cycle. Right now, I'm not even considering Ghost as Ghost. All I'm doing is like, she's going to purify these debuffs and I'm not going to die from block damage. I can just get him down with basic hits, and I was able to. So I was excited about that. It was my first time sort of taking a fight of that level with Ghost where I couldn't rely on my phasing, and I thought it went pretty well. The thing with Nick Fury is he's not all that difficult to fight just like in a vacuum. And because Ghost shuts down the node, it is basically like fighting him in a vacuum. Where Nick can really shine is if there's like some crazy power gain, or if there's like some kind of, you can't interrupt his heavy attack, or, you know, if he's gonna evade like on Mixmaster, like all of those types of things where hitting his block, or, you know, like not being able to punish his heavy, things like that can really make the fight more difficult. But since none of that was at play there, all I had to do was be comfortable throwing my block down and pushing him to a special 2, and he went down pretty easily. So this was an exciting war because it was our first perfect battle group war of the season. Huge shout out to DLL who made the lead planning for this war, but we ended up with the 165, the 0, and felt really good. It was a really solid win as an alliance overall, but especially our battle group. Just everyone brought it today, took some really difficult fights, and we had a great time. So that's going to do it for today, guys. I really appreciate coming and checking out another war video. This was a fun one for me for sure, getting more and more comfortable with Ghost as each war goes on. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.